Hi everyone, welcome back to AI News. Today we have a special guest. I should stop saying that, huh? Yeah.
No, I am special.
Oh, yeah. Well, today we have Elizabeth Wong
Ahlers.
Ahlers.
Elizabeth Wong Ahlers.
Yeah. Okay, she was here last time. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and then tell us the district that you're representing?
Right. I'm running for California State Senate, District 25, which goes across the 210 freeway here in Southern California from La Crescenta, Montrose, La Cañada, Pasadena on the west end, all the way across Arcadia and Monrovia, Glendora, some of Laverne, Upland, over to Rancho Cucamonga in San Bernardino County. And then from the Foothill Mountains, all the way down through Altadena, Pasadena, South Pasadena, San Marino, Alhambra, San Gabriel, Monterey Park, Rosemead, Temple City, and a few others. So check out my website for a bigger map. The website is elizabethforsenate24.com.
So today we have a lot to talk about. Last time we talked about a lot of your faith and your history and your family. Today we're gonna get into some of the policies that, because you're running for Senate, how are you gonna change it up? Because we are in really, really bad places right now. What's your main focus when you go in?
Well, I'm running on love, lives, liberty, and law. And think of, who do you love the most? It's probably your family. And I have 6 children. I love them so much. I've given my life for them. And so going into the Capitol in Sacramento, I really have on my heart to fight for our families, our children. Just last Tuesday in Glendale, which is also part of our district, there was a school board meeting in Glendale that even made national news because the parents found out that the curriculum in the schools is including teachings and exposure to pornographic material and how to do sexual acts, and it's stirring things up at very young ages, and the parents were not completely informed on it. And when they found out, they went to school board and let them know, we are not happy with this. And currently there is legislation going through the legislature in Sacramento. I have a little sheet here, AB 1078. This is presented by the Assembly up in Sacramento Capitol, because the bill can be introduced in the Senate or in the Assembly. So this one was introduced in the Assembly House, and it is forcing school districts to adopt textbooks, workbooks, worksheets, and other educational materials, which include the contributions of people from all gender expressions, and including those things that these parents are very upset about their children being exposed to. All right, Assembly Bill 1078, it is taking away authority of our local school districts. So presently, when parents have a concern about what's going on in the schools, they can go to their local school district and they can speak to the board members that they have elected. If the board members don't listen to them, then in the next election, the parents can elect someone else. And so this has been a strategy since we don't have control in the higher levels of government. We go to the local level of government, and this is where parents have more leverage. And so the state is getting aware of this and saying, oh, well, we want this curriculum at every school. And we don't want some school boards to say, oh, the parents don't like it, so we won't offer it. So the state is saying, okay, we want to pass a bill to take away the power of the local school boards to make decisions on the curriculum. And so all the curriculum will be decided up at the state level. And that's what this this bill wants to make into law. And that takes away the parents' voice at the local level with their local schools. And so this is one of those bills that we don't want to pass. So call your local assembly member and tell them, no, we are not happy with this, and we want you to vote no on it. This is not government of the people, for the people, and by the people. This is government controlling the people and saying, we have this agenda for you and your kids, and we're going to pass laws to make it happen on you. And I just noticed here that it did already pass the assembly, and it's going to the state senate. So now call your state senator.
What's your plan to combat this kind of thing? Because when you get in there, you're going to be a minority.
What I'm hoping in this next election is that I won't be the only one, right? So we're in District 25, but our Senate district overlaps with assembly districts. And so at this point, we don't have conservatives running for all those positions. So if this is hitting your heart and you're feeling stirred up inside that we have to do something about this, you might be called to run. So we need good candidates to run. So I won't be the only one. But yeah, we're recruiting candidates. We were recruiting candidates.
Really? We don't have
candidates? There's open positions for conservatives. So my assembly district 44 needs a candidate, and Assembly District 43 needs a candidate. So I know this specifically because I'm specifically looking for those in my area. Yeah, check it out. And if you are feeling stirred up, we need good candidates. The advantage of running, well, for one thing, it makes me so mad when I don't have a choice, right? And we don't want to have two Democrats going up to for the state Senate position in November. So I need to win in March for the primary so that I can be on the ballot in November. So make sure you vote in March. But so what I was saying was that it's possible to have two Democrats, and we have no good choices. We need good candidates, so we have a choice. We need to have conservative Christian candidates running, because when you are a candidate in the Republican Party, after the election, you are now a delegate to vote in the state Republican Party for party leadership and party platform. Depending on how many votes you get, you can appoint other people to also be delegates to vote at the state party level. And so then we can voice our concerns at the state level in the Republican Party, which is very important, as we know, because we need to be involved in our Republican Party. Because at this point, the Republican platform is very Christian, and it's very pro-family and pro-life, and we can stand by it. If we're not involved in the party, then that platform will start to disintegrate the way the rest of society has.
Yeah, I think the Republican Party, especially in California, is extremely weak. They don't help the correct candidate, and I think they put their candidate out to lose for some reason. I don't know why they would do that, but they just do it. They don't support the candidate that I know.
Yeah, well,
and especially the Christian one. If you out there, you go like, I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative, they don't support you at all.
That's why I need you to support me.
Yes. They're still opening, and you can be people's representative.
Yes, and the grassroots movement is growing because we're realizing that it's up to us. We can't expect the Republican Party to really be looking out for what's important to us. It's up to us to do the hard thing, make the sacrifices, run for office, work the campaigns, and win, and grow in our influence within the Republican Party.
Yes.
Because we do need to work within the party to have the impact that we really need to have. And it may take a while, you know, but we start with a step.
Regarding to Republican Party and California's conservative movement, should I say, one of the things that we concern about is our Second Amendment. As you know, our governor, Governor Newsom, just submitted a 28th amendment to get rid of the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that?
Well, I think back to 1776 and the founding of our country. The reason why we have a Second Amendment in our country is because the United States used to be colonies of the British Empire, and the British soldiers were stationed on our land, and they had guns, they had rifles, they had all the weapons and arms to enforce the will of the crown on the colonists. So we needed to be armed to protect ourselves from a government that was not following its own laws towards the colonists. And so this Second Amendment is part of our very founding of our country. It's a right as an American to have self-protection and to defend our country even
from Newsom.
Now,
yes. The action that he took is exactly what the Second Amendment is for.
Exactly.
And that's the reason that he wants to get rid of it. Because if he got rid of it, he can just basically do everything.
Right. And this is what's happened in other countries. First, they take away the people's freedom, they take away the people's ability to defend themselves, and then they can't defend themselves, and they become victims of their own government.
Yeah. If you go on dictionary and then you try to define slavery, they are actually people just can't defend themselves. They owe it to the government, they owe it to their owner, and you are basically owned by the government if you don't have the abilities to protect yourself. So I think when you go up there, you're gonna really fight for this. Yeah, the state can become like this, and all the crimes are happening. Let's talk about crimes. How are you gonna solve our crime problem? We have the worst crime in the whole, I would say the whole world. No one can go into a store and come out with $950 of stuff and without any consequences, even in Africa. Okay, even in Africa, or anywhere in the world, you steal something, you get checked. What's your plan on fixing that?
Well, all right, so we start with love. We care about lives, maintaining our liberty that we have been given since 1776, and then law, love, lives, liberty, law. And we cannot have, we can't have true liberty without law. And we have had 247 years of good laws already, but the laws need to be, well, enforced for one thing. We need to support our sheriffs. There's been a movement to take the sheriffs off of an elected position and have them be appointed in somehow, but then the sheriffs are losing their authority as being elected by the people to enforce law, even enforce laws on elected officials.
But I just saw a few videos. The cops are just arresting Christian pastor because the pride parade over there, and he was not doing anything. He was just standing there with the thing going, oh, God is love, and basically whatever we see, and then the cops end up arresting the pastor. So,
well, it's a problem when the cops are at the mercy of the city officials, and this is where the sheriffs that are elected by the people have a great authority, and they can really serve us as citizens. Because if they're not protecting us, then we can elect someone else. So it's very important to keep the autonomy of our elected sheriffs in place, and to enforce the laws that we have, for one thing, and then to keep those that are convicted and put in prison, to keep them in prison and not let them out when, like during COVID, so many criminals were let out of the prisons. And then having DAs need to be replaced that are not prosecuting the criminals.
Yeah.
And that's where, and then we have the laws of smash and grab, which isn't having any consequence. So there's so many levels that need to be addressed for law and order. I don't know, I'm seeing like those old Western movies.
Clint Eastwood.
yeah. And so that's where citizens needing our own protection, because the police aren't coming.
They took away our guns and take away their police, and they tell the police to arrest us.
Right. And
yeah.
And then the shop owners and the businesses, I really, I feel their frustration because now there's bills coming through that are saying that the employees cannot say anything if someone's shoplifting.
Yeah.
And so that's real helplessness, and it's so the businesses suffer, and then the community suffer, because if the businesses decide it's not worth it to have a shop anymore, they close up, then where do the citizens go when they need things?
Yeah,
so.
And they lost their job. Like if the whole the store go out, they lost hundreds of jobs. The janitor, the store owner, the cashiers, and everyone. So it's just really bad. It's a very bad cycle that we're on right now.
Yeah, it's like the laws that have been going through are promoting lawlessness.
Yeah, basically. When you go up there, when you're in Sacramento, and you face all these people, you face all these Scott Wiener, people that promote lawlessness. How are you going to combat them in a place that is so hostile towards Christian? Because the first thing, a lot of the Christian, they go up or they talk to them, people like that. Last time I just saw a video, they were talking to a state assembly member, and then he just go, I don't want to talk about your religion. You're a Christian, you have a cross on, just leave. How are you going to talk to them if they don't have the basic understanding of the Bible? And
well, my job as a senator would not be to evangelize them. My job as a senator would be to represent you and to represent the families of my district. If Scott Wiener is putting forth bills that are against the morality of my constituents, I can't sign on to that. I would write up bills that would reverse and come at the school situations or the crime situations from an angle of empowering the people, empowering the parents, empowering the righteous law enforcement.
What's your plan for the families? Like, how are you going to protect the families in California?
Well, a lot of it has to do with education, right? Because we want, as a family, we want to be able to raise our children to be prepared for adulthood. And so they need to have the best education possible to be prepared for adulthood. So this is a school choice. So this school choice initiative is something I would definitely support, because that whenever there's any kind of monopoly complete control and you have no choice, the quality can always goes down because there's no incentive to compete and have better. There's some homeschoolers that and ideally, as a homeschooler, I preferred not to have anything to do with government money because I didn't want any strings attached. But school choice is a way to break up the monopoly on the school system that's not working.
That's the biggest argument that I heard from my friends who does homeschool. It's like, I don't want government's money. Right now, they don't control me. Once the money starts coming in, I am under control.
Right. So I feel exactly the same way. And we never took any government money. And if my kids needed ballet and music lessons, we found a way and God provided. But I think as a policy, I would support school choice because I'll support anything that breaks up this educational monopoly and undermines the destructive system, because they have all the money, they have all the power, and that money is from us, right? Yeah. So I didn't want government money to homeschool because I don't want them controlling what I teach. But that money is my money. Yeah. and it's your money.
Yeah. Can you write a bill that says like, hey, stop property tax?
Yeah.
Stop, because that's where all the school money is from.
Yeah. Right.
And actually, property tax is unconstitutional. It was supposed to pay off a debt from 1812. It's war. And that's how it started. And right now, we paid off the war, but we still kept paying property tax. And they're just like, why don't we just use the property tax to get the school?
This is why we have to be careful that whenever we start with something, we never get it back.
Yeah. Once you give government your power, they just have it forever.
Right. It's so much better to say, okay, we have a problem in this sector of society, and we as a people have creativity and resources to fix that problem ourselves. Yeah. And we can overcome. In our last visit, I said, we need to learn to be overcomers. And if we always think, we just need the government to bail us out, then we never learn to overcome. Yeah. And we become just dependent babies, instead of strong, wise overcomers. Because there's always going to be more challenges in life, right? And we don't get stronger if we don't face it and figure out how to take care of it.
Yeah. I think the very American idea is that you build your stuff and you own your stuff. What happened in America is that we give our money to school. We built the school. Our school is very pretty, and they spend all this money. They don't know how to spend the money. We already have math class. We already have English class. But every year there's so many teachers graduating. We need to give them job because they're part of the teachers union. So let's have lesbian dance theory, and then let's have sex education and stuff like that. That's how your property tax is managed, through Sacramento and doing all these weird stuff. So I think that when you go up there, when you meet with these people, you need to represent us, and maybe one day you don't have to pay property tax. That's what I want.
Right. And just going back to property tax, it's like we work so hard to save our money for a down payment to purchase a house, right? And it used to be that you could purchase the whole house, but now we really have to have a mortgage because the system has kind of become that. But we work so hard to buy this house. We have a mortgage, and then it includes this dirt right under the house, right? The land. And so to be taxed on it every year after we've already purchased it, that is not right.
Yeah.
Because the land does not belong to the government.
Yes. Yeah. Land of the free and home of the brave. If the land you have to pay tax on, it's not free. So the whole property tax thing is unconstitutional. Well, thank you for coming. I have so much fun talking to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ethan. I had fun too.
Yeah, great conversation. Yeah, I think I get to vote for you. I think my mom gets to vote for you too.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you. And please tell our audience again what district you're representing and what cities they can vote for you for.
Yes, this is Senate District 25. It includes Glendale, La Crescenta Montrose, La Cañada Flintridge, Altadena, Pasadena, South Pasadena, Alhambra, Monterey Park, San Marino, San Gabriel, East Pasadena, East San Gabriel, South San Gabriel, Temple City, Sierra Madre, Monrovia, Arcadia, Mayflower Village, North El Monte, Rosemead, Glendora, Claremont, San Antonio Heights, Upland, Rancho Cucamonga. So all of San Gabriel Valley here and all the way across the 210 freeway. So you can vote District 25. If you live just outside the lines, still come and help us. We're going to be door knocking. We're going to be having campaign events, fundraisers. We need your help. I need all kinds of, we're going to be doing more videos, social media. You could use all kinds of help, graphics, printing. So thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, Ethan.
Oh, thank you. And she definitely needs our help. And then please go on to her website, donate to her campaign, and then work as volunteer for her. She really needs boots on the ground.
Yes.
Grassroots movement, it's time for you to get up. We get excited every election cycle. We get excited like, oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can get this and that. But seriously, the only way to change our society is by you being strong and you know what you want and you follow God with your own two boots. You
That's
go out
right.
And you preach the gospel and then you share her story. Share her story. Share this video and let her go into Sacramento and represents you.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. Elizabeth for Senate24.com or .org, but try .com.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you, Ethan.